Good early morning. Kara Prophet here, coming to you very late or early. I'm thinking early. I'm recording this at about 4 a.m. So I didn't plan on recording a video tonight or early morning. I did tomorrow. But as the result of some breaking news, I went ahead and set up and kind of made a makeshift recording space here. So um, let's just get into it. The Senate had a late night vote last night, Sunday night, which will reopen the government after a compromise was made between Democrats and Republicans in the Senate, leading to a 60-40 vote. This will allow the government to reopen and spending to resume. It requires a 60-40 vote in the Senate in order to pass any type of spending bill. This is a temporary measure, as senators will continue working on this, and actually lawmakers, but this is essentially a stopgap measure, is what they call it, to continue or to reopen the government and to fund essential programs and things of that nature, such as SNAP, and to get federal workers back to work, get paychecks to them, and many other government associated programs to get those going, at least temporarily. Now, there was an agreement with this, as there would be with a compromise. It seems like the biggest issue that was going on through this had to do with healthcare and the funding of Medicare, Medicaid, and especially the ACA tax subsidies, which ACA stands for the Affordable Care Act. So the agreement that was made is that the issues that were preventing them from voting and opening the government once the fiscal year restarted, which for the federal government starts October 1st. So from October 1st until November 10th, the government has been shut down. It's the longest government in United States history. So lawmakers in the Senate felt that something needed to be done and came to this compromise. This is a short-term type thing. There will be another vote in January. Between now and then, they will be discussing the issues and continuing to work while keeping the government open and allowing government programs and benefits to be distributed and for things to get back to normal, and for people to be able to go on with their lives, especially those who depend on SNAP, or federal workers, VA programs, and other programs and associations connected. Some federal workers have been laid off during this. They've only kept essential workers, and the essential federal workers have been working without pay since October 1st. So all of those things are very important. With healthcare being at the center really of attention with this, part of the agreement was that in December they will have a vote strictly on the ACA issue of the tax credit subsidies. This will clearly reveal where each person stands in the Senate on the Affordable Care Act, because they only will be voting on one matter, and that will help us, especially going into the midterms, to know more about what each person stands for, and within our in our voting. So in a way, this is a really good opportunity, heading into the midterms and considering who we're going to be voting for. let's see. I've wrote a bunch of notes now. Please, or down. Please bear with me. Let's see. The House of Representatives will now be in session, which means that Adalia I'm sorry, it's really Gruhita and I apologize, will be sworn in and will likely be the 218th vote needed to force a vote on the Epstein files, which has been a big issue for a long time. Many are split in terms of this compromise. Some agree with it as a measure to reopen the government, thinking a long-term, others are thinking that there's could be a long-term consequences, as this does help people for now and to get something in motion right at this moment. But there's many lawmakers and people concerned about the long-term consequences of this that are potential, particularly with healthcare. In a lot of ways, we'll just have to see how this all plays out and comes together. And you know, it's hard to believe how much can happen in a week, especially these days. It was last Saturday night the Dodgers won the World Series, and they had that really big, I'll call it a pep rally, in Los Angeles, right ahead for people in California to vote yes on Prop 50, which passed by a very large measure. Californians obviously wanted that, and those of us in the rest of the country, we are greatly appreciative to California for what you guys did for us. And also, we had 3 other big elections take place. Abigail Spanberger was elected as governor-elect of Virginia, Mickey Sherrill as governor-elect of New Jersey, and Zohran Manzani, I have to stop for a minute here, has been elected as New York City's next mayor. All of these people I feel will be great. Great elected officials, a great mayor, 2 wonderful governors. I can't wait to see the work that they do. A downside of that particular day, on Election Day, there was a plane crash in Kentucky. A U.S. A UPS. Sorry, it is 4 a.m. A UPS cargo plane crashed into Louisville, Kentucky. The death toll is 14, and that accounts for all missing persons from that. So it's a devastating event for Louisville, and hearts and prayers go out to the people in Louisville, Kentucky, who have lost their loved ones, who witnessed this horrific event or have been a part of it in any way. Now, the particular type of plane that was involved in this, planes similar or just like it have all been grounded pending investigation. And as far as what happened, the investigation is still underway. Let's see. We have a United Nations summit in Brazil coming up dealing with climate, and President Trump decided that he, didn't want to attend this event. So, California Governor Gavin Newsom will be representing the United States at this climate summit, which is amazing. I'm so glad that we will be represented. and by someone who really understands climate change, and I feel will do a wonderful job representing us at this international event. And it's very important that someone be there to speak for the people of the United States and to let the United Nations know that the United States is still fighting for climate change and still believes that climate change is real. And speaking of climate, let's move over to the weather. I'm in West Virginia, and it's early to mid-November, and in my opinion, seeing snow, yes, that's right, snow, in the forecast, it is way too early. I saw that, let's see, earlier yesterday morning, and I was like, no. I kind of ignored it, thinking it would go away. It didn't go away. Many counties in West Virginia are under a winter storm warning. Others under advisory, and the entire state is expected to receive some snowfall overnight and into tomorrow. And as strange as that is, after the week that we've just had and the things that are going on, in some ways, it shouldn't be a shocker. I mean, this one's coming from Mother Nature, but it just seems to be a time that weird things are happening, and a lot's happening very quickly. I apologize for any name that I mispronounced. Hopefully I got them pretty close, but again, please understand that I'm recording this at 4 a.m. and this is totally an unexpected podcast. Plus, I'm new to this, and I probably shouldn't be making excuses, but just letting you know where I'm coming from. So, may God bless the USA, and hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.